Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We love having you here, and it's our mission to bring you all the latest and greatest tips, skills, and know-how to make you the best that you can be. We know that you have it in you, and we're going to show you how. Now, let's get started.
This episode is powered by Poddex.
Thank you for tuning in today. You are now listening to That Will Never Work podcast with your host, Maurice Chisholm. Hello, everyone. How are you today? I hope that you are enjoying my process of talking about going back to school. And some of you may be saying, hey, you know what, Maurice? You're really on this school thing. And one, I just want to share my experience with this, how I'm feeling about this process, and how I have learned so much in going back to school. Something as simple as going back to school. What is it that you have to do to go back to school? So we've talked about time. We've talked about just getting accepted. Now that you have been accepted, what is it that you need to do to go back to school? Again, it is not just school. It's your position. It's getting married. Whatever it is, whatever you're preparing yourself for or getting ready to do, there is a process to get to that point. Now, today we're talking about being prepared or getting prepared. When you go back to school, and for those individuals that remember, you go back to school. For some of us, we wanted to go get some new sneakers or shoes, or we had to go get some new jeans or shorts or khaki pants or sweaters and blazers and ties and things like that, depending on your school and your educational level and things like that. There was a moment of preparation you had to do to get to that point of going back to school, for going to school. Even when you had to go to the store and get school supplies, pencils, pens, paper, notebooks, things like that. Even when you had to sit down and read books over the summer to get prepared for your book reports and things like that, there was a preparation time or moment that you had to take care of. So for myself, I had to prepare my workspace, doing schoolwork from home. Yes, I work from home, so I already had one type of space prepared. But when I was reading over my syllabi and paying attention to what the school was asking and offering from a online experience, if you will, there were a few more things that I had to do beyond just buying a book bag to put my books in, because that's just who I am. I'm in school. I need a book bag, right? Even though I don't need the book bag, but that's just who I am. But I still needed spiral notebooks, pencils and pens, tape, staples, those type of things, just to keep myself organized, because I knew what I needed for my own resources to keep me organized, to keep me on track, to figure out if this is really what I want to do. So how about for you today? Are you prepared for your next step? Have you taken the necessary time to look at what resources you have or you don't have? Sometimes we don't have the right type of paper, right? I was getting ready to take a math class, and I was wondering whether or not I really needed graph paper or just regular line paper. And when I had gotten into class, I'm like, oh, wow, like I might need some other type of paper because this is not working, or what I needed for was not I wasn't totally prepared for what I needed from the first day of class. So are you prepared today to make things happen? Are you prepared today to go to the extra mile to get this stuff done? Are you prepared to do things ahead of time instead of being reactionary to the situation? Now, I understand sometimes in school, they don't, you're not always aware of what's needed up front. You get what I mean? You're not always abreast on the materials. There were some professors that wanted you to wait until the very first day of class before you got your book. And I realized being in college that, yeah, you know what? You might want to wait, especially if this class is not for you and you drop the class. Do you still need the book? And that's a very serious situation. So sometimes you could be overprepared for something that you're really not ready for. And or other situations come up that might halt your progress. But ultimately, you got to be prepared for all the above. So how are you prepared today to face whatever challenges are going on? No, you can't prepare for every single thing. There's no way to do that. For a few things you can, but not for everything. You can't prepare for everything. But things that you can be prepared for: pencils, pens, paper, calculators, textbooks, book bags, things like that. You can be prepared for that. Also, you could prepare yourself for constructive criticism. Are you ready to take that on also? Again, something else that everyone is not ready for. They're not ready to be told they're right, wrong, or indifferent. Everyone is not always ready for their papers to be graded and say, hey, you can do better. We're not always prepared for that. But and especially since it feels like a lot of people are very sensitive right now. But in order for us to grow as individuals, as human beings, as groups, whatever it is, in order for us to grow, sometimes you need to hear what the other person sees or hears or feels about a certain situation in order for you to grow. So are you ready to do that today? Are you ready to grow? And growing, are you prepared to take on what that particular situation has for you? Yes, I use material things originally for being prepared. There are some mental things that you have to be prepared for. There's some emotional things that you got to be prepared for. And for some of us that are in a spiritual space, you even have to be spiritually prepared to take on any and all situations. I encourage each and every one of you today to get yourself ready, because your change is coming. And are you ready for it? Or are you going to be scrambling for that change when that change happens? Are you going to be scrambling to find your supplies? Are you going to be scrambling because you're emotionally not ready for what's coming at you, and now all of a sudden you're breaking down and people are not ready for that type of response? And sometimes those situations can put you in a precarious situation. I encourage you to get prepared today. I encourage you to find that sweet spot for you to move forward in and get yourself ready, because your change is coming. Let's get ready.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.